Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing products that I have not used in a long time or products that I have forgotten about. So this video idea came to me while I was doing my makeup today, and I was seeing so many products that I used to use all the time that I just have not reached for whatever reason, and it just gave me this video idea. So this is going to be a video on all of the products that I forgot about. Let's start off with powder. I have two powders that I used to use all the time. Like if you've been watching me for a while, or if you go back through my videos, y'all know I have been using both of these powders for a long time. I was obsessed at one point. The first one is the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish in the shade Dark. This is just a great powder. Like there's really not too much to say about it. It's just a really amazing powder. Looks super natural, gives you really great coverage. I love to wear this powder over foundation or even without foundation. It just gives me a nice even complexion. Doesn't look cakey, doesn't look powdery. I have not reached for this because I use the Wet n Wild pressed powder. I feel like the Wet n Wild pressed powder is literally, to me, in my opinion, a drugstore dupe for this powder. I do use this every once in a while, but literally not even in comparison to how much I used to use this. I used to use this every single time I wore makeup. I need to reach into it a little bit more. Next powder, okay? When I first got this, I was obsessed. This is the NYX HD finishing powder in the shade Banana. Love this stuff right here, okay? This is one of like the best drugstore banana pressed powders that I've tried. I haven't tried a lot, but and I love this for setting under my eyes when I wanted a brighter look under there. I think I just used this in my last video actually, and that was like my first time using this powder in a little while. But I used to be obsessed with this powder. I used to love using this. I would actually use both of these powders together, the MAC one and this one. I will go in with the MAC one first and then this one to add a little bit of brightness. But like I said, I have not used either of these powders in a really long time. But this is a great powder if you're looking for coverage, but as well as brightening. I will say, you know, a little bit goes a super long way. This is super bright and it just looks perfect, seamless, and super bright. So going on to blush, these are like the main two blushes I have not worn or used in a while, mainly because I'm obsessed with cream blush. I love cream blush. I love the results of it. I love how it looks. I love how it feels. I just love it. So these are the two powder blushes I have not really been reaching for. The first one is the BH Cosmetics Duo Cheek Color in the shade Caribbean Coral. I remember I used to be so obsessed with this blush. This one is like a more orangish color and then a more pinker color. It's a little bit more on the shimmery side as opposed to matte. It looks so gorgeous on my skin tone. Blends out really well. Doesn't get patchy. And I feel like this is a blush that goes with like any kind of makeup look. So I definitely need to bring out this BH Cosmetics one a little bit more. The next blush is actually like my favorite blush palette of all time. Like it's so great. This is the e.l.f. blush palette in the shade Dark, and it comes with these 4 shades right here. You guys, you can kind of see that, especially this one. I use so much of this one. This was all I used to use every single time I did makeup. This is pretty much the only blushes I own for a really long time. All I use. I love it. These shades are gorgeous, but this one was definitely my favorite because it's like a very natural pinkish, a little bit of like an orange undertone. Went with every look gorgeous, stayed for a really long time. Since I've been obsessed with cream blushes, this kind of went on the back burner, but I need to pull it out. Let's talk about this product, since this is the only product in this category, and this is lip category. And this is my Sephora Rouge Cream Lip Stain in the shade 01 Always Red. Guys, this is literally the only red lipstick I kept because this is my favorite red lip. Looks so pretty on me, looks amazing. It doesn't look ashy. This one makes my teeth look super white. Plus, it's a cream lip stain, so it's not super matte. It just dries to like a nice cream finish that's very comfortable. I have not used this because literally all I wear now is a nude lip or lip gloss. There's no in between. There's no dramatic days or nothing. And I'm trying to get back into a little bit more bold colors on the lips. I used to be super into bold colors. I used to wear purples and browns and all that kind of stuff. But it's just simpler times right now. But I'm gonna get back to like more bold lips. So I need to break this out because this is like my favorite. Definitely recommend this red. It's perfect. Next, let's talk about this single highlighter. This was the only highlighter I own for a very long time. It is still one of my favorite highlighters. It just does not get as much use because I've been obsessed with my Flesh Beauty highlighter. But this is the Becca Shimmery Skin Perfector in the shade Topaz, and it looks like this. And I did hit pan on it a little bit. I don't know if you can see, it's right in the center. You can see a little bit of panage. This is just a really great highlighter. It's super intense, looks super gorgeous on my skin tone. I mean, there's literally not much I can say about it. Everyone pretty much loves Becca highlighters. This is just an amazing one. Literally when I got this, this was all I used every single time I did my makeup. Definitely need to pull this out a little bit more. Next, let's talk about a highlighter palette that I have not used. I thought about decluttering it from my collection because I know that I don't even wear these kind of highlighters anymore, but I want to keep it just because I don't own any highlighter like this, any highlighter palettes like this. So I kind of want to keep it, but who knows. But this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Aurora Glow Kit. Okay, you guys remember this? This was like my go-to highlighting palette for a little while, believe it or not, because I really love this purple shade right here called Spectra, and I really love this shade right here called Lyra. I have not used this in so long because these colors are very bold, very neon. Just like, where you wearing it to? Where you going? I don't like, this is not even my makeup style anymore. So maybe I'll declutter it in the future, but for right now I'm gonna hold on to it. Maybe I'll try to get a little bit more use out of it before I declutter it. Okay, we got some more like face palettes. They're both by Beauty Bakery. The first one is the Scoops Elise's Face and Body Palette. Looks like this, okay? And it comes like this. So you get 4 face colors, highlighter, and then 3 blush shades, okay? In this one, I have wanted this for so long. When I got it, I just did not use it as much as I thought I would. Honestly, I really bought this for this orange right here. I just thought it was so popping, but still a great palette, very pigmented. Love the shades. A really good palette. I just do not reach for this, so I need to pull this out a little bit more and reach for this. And then going on with that, I have the Coffee and Cocoa palette. This was raved about by Jackie Aina, so I remember I picked it up. I love this palette. I definitely have used this palette way more than the other palette I just showed you, just because I gravitate more toward this color spectrum. But I love this. This once again comes with a highlighter shade, a bronzer, a powder, and then a blush as well. So you get a lot of different things going on in here. I actually love this palette. Love the formula. I love everything about this palette. I definitely love this one a lot more than this one, probably for the color selection, and I just feel like this formula is a little bit better than this formula. I have not used this. Like, I totally forgot about this. Then lastly, we're going to talk about some eyeshadow palettes that I have forgotten about. There's way more palettes than this, but I didn't want this video to be too long and I'm like rambling on and on, so I kind of condensed it a little bit. But the first one is the It's My Ray Ray palette. It is the 3-fold one, so it comes with highlighters and contour shades. So with the highlighters, I used to use this highlighter all the time. This is one of the best highlighters I've ever tried. As you can see, it looks worn in, it's shattered. I definitely had to like alcohol it up, repress it, but the highlighters are popping. Love the highlighters. The contour shades I've never used, only swatched. I've never used these just because I don't feel like this comes with a shade that's right for me. This one's way too dark. The middle one is like the exact same color of my skin tone, and this one is way too light. Of course, I could mix these and find my shade, and I could use this as a powder or whatever. I just don't want to. And then if you open it a little bit more, the middle row has the eyeshadow shades. The eyeshadows in here are so bomb, so popping, so pigmented. Even the purples are great. The mattes are blend out really well. They're not patchy. The shimmers are super metallic. Like I said, love this palette, just have not used it. Totally forgot about it. I don't know if this palette is still available or not, but amazing palette. Next palette I have here is the Colourpop Yes Please palette. This was Colourpop's first official palette, and now they've done millions and millions. They come out with way too much stuff. Very summery feel, very a little bit colorful but still neutral. I used to literally live for this palette. This was the only palette that I used to use, and now I could not tell you the last time I used this palette. Still love it. I still feel like this is a great palette, especially the metallics in here. I feel like are really great. Actually, this yellow in here is very pigmented. This red is very pigmented. Great palette. I just forgotten about it. Next palette I've forgotten about is the Milani, what is this called? The Milani Gilded Rouge palette. Looks like this. When I first got this, was obsessed. I loved it. Shades look like this. So as you can see, you have like a mixture of so many different colors, so many different finishes. You have some glitters in here, some metallics, some satins, some mattes. This is a very great drugstore palette. I feel like this is way better than most drugstore palettes on the market. but I'm gonna put most of this stuff like on my vanity so I can remember to use it, because this is such a gem of the drugstore. Like, drugstore eyeshadows that are actually very good is very rare, believe it or not, and Milani does great with these, so gotta use this more. Next are a bunch of single shadows from Colourpop. These are all Colourpop shadows in here, and I have not used these shadows in a very long time. As you can see, I have so many and I need to use them. Some of these shadows are like some of my favorite shadows ever. I used to be obsessed with single shadows. I would collect them. I just have not used it in so long, so I definitely need to bring the single shadows back. And then the last palette I have is my BH Cosmetics Desert Oasis palette. This is a 19 color shadow and highlighter palette. Soon as this came out, I bought it because the colors in here are fire. So you get all highlighters over here. The highlighters are freaking amazing, bomb, stunning, super pow. Okay, then you have all of your eyeshadows over here. Most of the shadows in this palette are shimmer, but they're still bomb. You get so many popping shadows of, I mean, gorgeous, bomb. I used to use this so much, so hard. I love this palette. It's one of my favorite palettes ever, and I just have forgotten about her. So I'm gonna bring her out. I'm telling you, all this stuff we're gonna put on our vanity. We're gonna use a little bit more because it's too bomb to go to waste. Those are some makeup products that I've forgotten about in my own collection. I would love to know what you guys have that you used to love, that you have forgotten about. Leave it in the comments below, and until my next one, I'll see you guys later.